All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are from. Welcome to the Sunday Coffee Klatch. Hope you got your beverage of choice ready just to chat. This is our just sit back, relax, bitch about the week, cheer
Steve,
about the week.
someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Hello. Hello.
Hans, what's up, broski?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Hans. How are you today? How is all the stuff going on in Norway? Probably much better than here. Oh,
Steve,
gosh.
someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Welcome to my stream.
Well, it's Sleepy Eye Vince. What's up, Vince? What's up, my bud? How are ya? Hans bought a second-hand laptop. Does it go hand in hand with your other laptops? Oh. How are you? How are you both? What's up, Vince? Who's this guy? He looks nothing like the thumbnail. Well, yeah, a little makeup. Maybe the picture was taken when I wasn't so sleepy. It's called me Sleepy Face Steve today. Oh!
Thank you for the 7 long
And
months of subscribing, Andy242. It's that time of the month.
How many? Fuck, Andy. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Andy. That is just too kind of you. That's too kind. Oh my gosh. Wow. Thank you, Andy. How are you? You're quiet out there. You were trying to sneak it in?
Steve, someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
What is up, Andy? That's just too kind of you, Andy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, how's Germany? We got Australia, we got Norway, and now we got Germany. We're getting around the world here. You are good. How are me? I am fine. Pizza day today. Europe wins. Oh, let's see. Put some of my music here. Ah. There we go. What's up? What was off? So I'm starting a little bit later today. Of course, I'm on Windows, and I had been testing out the Elgato Wavelink audio setup. Now, I don't have a Wavelink, but you can use the software for free. And I realized right before the stream, I didn't know what I was doing with it, and I couldn't hear anything. So I ended up having to delete it and that. So did I manage to repair the driver thingy? No, I am pretty sure. Hold on, my music. Now I just like screwed up all my audio. It's just so loud for me. How background music okay for you guys? So I'm pretty sure it's not the driver. What I diagnosed it to be is my power source. It was a little loud here as well. Okay. Turn it down then just a little bit here. I guess I'm going to have to redo all my audio again. I thought the Elgato thingy would be that way I can port like the music and that better. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I have a 500 watt power source in here. So I have my 4060. I tried about 5 different PSU calculators with my motherboard and hard drives and memory
Steve,
and all that.
someone
and
has joined the chat on Twitch.
there's Nova Charter. Now we got the other part of the world, Boston here. Boston is represented in the house. None of us know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm in good company here. I don't know what I'm doing, and you don't know what I'm doing. That's perfect. So all the power PSU calculators on the different sites that I went to, all say that with the 4060 and that, maybe 400 watt, 500 watt. But also the power source is about 10 years old. And it was part of the build that I had ordered, not thinking about the future. So I did want to go with a huge power source. I don't plan
Steve, someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Welcome to my stream.
Guy Merritt, where the fuck have you been? I've been meaning to message you, seeing if you were okay. How are you, Guy? Well, perfect. I'm glad you're not. Pew pew. So I ordered a 650 watt power source, which should be perfect. Any future stuff, either it's just gonna be the way it is till the day I go, or I'm gonna buy a new computer because I'm not gonna keep just upgrading parts and that. But this will be perfect. Should give me enough headroom. But I think it was the power source that was kind of like causing the problems because it was happening the exact same thing on Linux. You're barely still not. Let me go back here a second. So Hans got himself an Acer Aspire 16 AI Intel Core Ultra 5 226 volt AI 16 gigs of DDR5. That's not bad for a used. Intel Arc shared memory. 16-inch monitor. It's 2048 by 1280. You paid $450 for it. That sounds like a pretty decent system for that. Congratulations. Nice deal. Nice deal. So what I had done, Andy, is I had taken I usually every other month or so I take the unit and I clean it out really good. Blow out the dust. I did that. I checked for loose connections. I unplugged the power source, the power sources and that, plugged them back in, did it with the GPU and all that. And then because also like the mouse and the microphone would stop working out of the blue. I thought it was because I was hitting the mic, but I'm like, that can't be it. And then I reset up my where I got things plugged in on USBs. And so far, I have not had a complete failure in 2 weeks. About 2 weeks? Yeah, about 2 weeks. Both on Linux and Windows. But being that the power source is 10 years old, I just ordered a new power source in that. Guy has an Elite Desk 800 G1 from 2013 and some old video card. I am not cool at all. You're okay for an old guy. I'm going to be picking up one of the many computers that my brother-in-law had given to me when he kind of got out of his side business. was like one of those IBM Office computers that you see. That I had cleaned up, and it was actually in pretty good shape. It was like barely any dust in it. I'm wondering if it was one that was ever used. I upgraded the memory. I had given it to my father-in-law, and I had upgraded the memory on it, and a hard drive. I put an SSD in there. And he's been running on Linux on it for about 10 years now. So, Vince. My TTS working? I got a different, it's kind of different with TTS between Windows and Linux.
Sleep High Iceman says Steve.
Oh. Okay, finally worked, but then my actions didn't work. Didn't I put my new actions here, or did I just do that on Linux? It just worked. Didn't you just hear it, Vince? Because I have blocking cues going, so if one action is running, it's got to wait for the other action. What's our? No, actually, that's psoriasis. I know it's lovely to see on the air. But, yeah. So I ordered this. Were you rude? Nah, Vince is in the chat, so you're not being rude. Ugh. So I just ordered a 650 watt new power source. So it's supposed to be in by Thursday. And well, we'll see after that, but that should help things quite a bit anyway. Well, I see. I have. Oh, let's see. You can't. Where is it? Where is it? It's on my elbow here. Oh, you can barely see it right now. I got a little boo boo here. See, a little scar left. But no, I have.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party.
Donnie, now England is represented. Hey Donnie, can we cancel this contract and give the States back to you guys? Not that it would be any better, but I've had psoriasis most of my life. It's called plaque psoriasis. It's a basically, psoriasis is an autoimmune issue. Having a decent week. We went yesterday and bought stuff for our garden. So Hans, well, I don't think I'll be planting the garden today. It rained really heavy today, and it's not done raining. So I got all my garden stuff going, or purchased. I would do it tomorrow. I might have to wait till Tuesday now because tomorrow I'm going to go help my sister out. Only Yorkshire tea? I've not Earl Grey. Earl Grey dog. So for and I know this isn't. I get talking and that. Sometimes it gets better. Usually I have it both on both. It's like it doubles. It's on elbows, and I got it on both knees and behind both ears, and So plaque psoriasis is an immune issue, and where every 30 plus days our skin regenerates. But when you have psoriasis and that, it's in 12 and within 12 hours, the skin regenerates. So that's why you get that plaque look. I'm not a doctor, but I did talk to Vince once, and I stayed at a Holiday Inn. And it usually gets better when the sun, get out in the sun. The sun really helps. Summertime is usually pretty good. So, but yeah, so all should be by the end of the week. I should have the computer. It's been good. Guy's grandpa was a doctor, but he's a no idiot. Well, that's why you fit so perfectly here. That's why you fit so perfectly here. Yeah, you're welcome, guy. Hey, there's all sorts of reasons why people come here. I think the last couple weeks I did have some people trying to troll, but it's like, are they little kids or big baby adults? Someone was trying to get me to, if you do do a handstand, I'll subscribe. Nova, do people really still do that? I know there's a lot of streamers that, want to either kind of fake a please their audience and do shit. Haven't seen me. I've been streaming pretty much my regular schedule, my 4 days a week. I think this week I did not stream Tuesday because I've had a bad sore throat all week, and a couple weeks ago, well, it really didn't stop me from streaming much. I had oral surgery, so I had a small wisdom tooth that never grew up, and that had been growing into my jaw. How that happened, I don't know. So I had that removed. I gotta say, the dentist, the old, and he was an old guy too, a couple years older than me, but he's been in the business for a long time. The oral surgeon, and I'll tell you, it was pretty good. It wasn't perfect. I mean, it was tender and sore and all that, but he's done really good. We haven't run into too many trolls lately. Used to a lot. I think they come out of the woodwork every once in a while. I think most of them are probably, if they're here in the States, they're like, maybe they're drawn in by like the political stuff or flat Earth stuff or moon denier stuff. I'm like a bad alien hybrid. Where is that? There we go. Next, see, where is it? There we go. There we go. I have two of those there. I do have. Oh, you can't see it. I have a flat Earth map here. No, I have a one of those flat maps up there. My wife likes maps. Our clock is a globe. Dreamers. Wait. Yeah, oh, and then now my thing's not working? Well, the refresh isn't working? What the fudge? What the fudge? What else isn't working
Steve,
today?
someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Total OS today. It's not picking up my album art. Okay. What's up, Carmine? Happy Sunday. I believe Twitch streamers Earth is flat then. No, Earth isn't flat. You know what? It's just a way for these guys to gals to make money. You know, there's a lot of people that believe it, but centuries of decades of science just be a well. I don't think it is, so that's the way it must be. Uh-huh. I do believe the earth is flat. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But the fact that they get tons of people to follow them is just unbelievable. But then we got tons of people here in the States that follow the MAGA party, so Total OS is on Linux Mint this morning. Is that a good mint for your tea? You have an ex-stepson who's into that crazy flat earth shit. Nice kid, but he's an idiot. Yeah, you know, on one hand, you know, you think, well, they always refer back to the Bible, right? Now, I'm not here to insult anybody's religion. I am not a believer, and I don't believe that something written thousands of years ago, when man was pretty much still ignorant in their ways, you know, it took centuries to figure out that we revolved around the sun, not the other way, and all that stuff. But many years of science, so we're just throwing science and that out the window. The thousands, barely 1,700 years in this form, yeah. But there's stuff that goes back to BC that. Guy said, hey, I had 2 crazy UFO sightings, kind of confirmed that these religions are missing some big stuff. Carmine, I have to disagree there. Because as long as there is some goodness in it, there's a lot of evil. Right? A lot of evil. But I'm not here to argue that stuff. I mean, I have my beliefs, you have yours. My beliefs don't kill anybody, but some goodness, rest is evil. Yep. Well, you know, like killing firstborns and flooding
Steve,
the earth.
Someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Hello.
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 Hey, Leo man. The Linux old timers are here today. What's up, Leo man? It's aliens. It's always been aliens. Carmine's going to be selling Flat Earth OS. I'm sure you'll do really good on it. It's a touchy subject that triggers people. Yeah, I don't talk. I just want to be left alone in my belief. If I don't believe, how does that hurt you? Except maybe question what you believe. But then again, that doesn't hurt you. But here in the States, they're forcing a lot of stuff. You know, they want to become a secular nation. What the fuck is that? Guy says there's a remarkable amount of violence in the Christian Bible. Yes, there is. We we all agree that Star Trek is greater than Star Wars? Oh, Nova, you be fighting there. You want fighting words, Nova. I would say not, Carmine, but you believe what you don't hate. You know, there are people that want to hate on me because of it. And if you want to hate on me because of it, then I have to say, what kind of religious person are you? So anyway, now that I opened up a bag of worms, anybody running out to go see Mandalorian and Grogu? I don't think I'm gonna run out and see it. Did it open up yet, or it opened up this weekend? I heard it's more or less like a higher quality version of the television series. But Paramount's canceled all the Star Trek stuff and anything planning right now. I did watch the Mandalorian season. I did like it. Yeah, I mean, I think once he, I guess you had to see what he looked like, but once they took off his helmet, you know, well, once you see the real thing, guy, right? Everything else pales in comparison. Oh, you can miss your wicked old nuns. You know what? I went through 5 years. So, kindergarten, and first grade was in public school. Second through seventh grade was in a Catholic grammar school. And most of the time we had why they call them lay teachers, I don't know. We had one nun, Sister Elizabeth, who we all called Sister Lizzie, that walked around with the 3-foot pointer stick, smacking it on desks. Didn't have her until seventh grade. Only me and one kid, another guy, did not get smacked all year by her. But the lay teachers were something else. I had one lay teacher because back then, here you got to worry about getting killed in the classroom. But back then it was putting needles in an eraser and throwing it on someone's chair when they went to sit down. And that happened to me. And I screamed. And I didn't want to rat on the kid that did it. So the lay teacher had me up against the blackboard boom, 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 pounding my head against the back of the blackboard. Now, Mr. Winkler, we do not make noise in class. Holding me actually by my tie. Boom, boom. Of course, I went, told my mom about it. Oh, she called school. They denied it, Well, that's what made us good people, getting the shit beat out of us. Yeah, right. Yeah, needles, pins, like the straight pins, they would put them in through the gummy erasers and then throw it on your chair. Yeah. And then I forget the one nun's name, but we called her Chopper because she was a real old heavyset nun. And she would come in as a substitute when the lay teacher was sick. And it was a free-for-all because she would she would fall asleep at the desk. That's why we called her Chop. Yeah. And then I was in public school, which actually didn't get much better from my parents couldn't afford putting all 4 kids in the Catholic school, so 8th grade we were in the public school, and then high school was the public school. Yeah, them were the days. Yeah, I got what was that last year too? 7th grade. I actually met I was not a tough kid, but some kid was really picking on me, and we met after class. And then one of the dads in the neighborhood tried to grab both of us to take us. I got away. Public school is where they force you to pray to Satan. Okay. And I almost got in a fight in high school. I think I've only been in a fight a couple times in my life. But you look at today and what the kids have to go through, especially here in America. They have gun shooting drills. But a few children being shot and killed just so we can have our gun rights, and that and it's not guns that kill people, right? It's people that kill people. So let's start another one. Yeah, we're doing all sorts of touchy topics today. All sorts of touchy topics. Oh, let me throw Windows and Linux in the mix now. Whoa, now we get touchy. Oh, Donnie, no. Wait. Hold on 1 second, Donnie. Wait a minute. Donnie says, while we're on hot takes today, Die Hard isn't a Christian film, and I'm willing to die on this hill. It is totally. Even my wife will watch Die Hard at Christmas time. Steve for president. No. God. I feel for right or left, they're both fucked up. Excuse my language, but they're just. And do I think that we would, one of my friends, he deals with this one guy, that constantly he actually posted that Trump is the best president of his lifetime. How bad things are. And he says the internet said if billionaires get shot at the same rate kids shot, we'd be out of billionaires in 2 months. Yeah. Oh no, they'd be hiding in their, but they might go broke setting up more security. Well, I mean that's your, if you don't vote, to me you can't bitch. But it's supposed to be a system of compromise, of working together, of for the people, by the people. So I heard a story the other day, Donnie, or actually Andy. I can't name names. I don't think the names were mentioned in the story, but some young American reporter was interviewing a German billionaire and asked the German billionaire, how much do you pay on taxes? And the billionaire says, I'm up to about 60% tax rate. And the kid couldn't believe it. And the guy didn't want to really go on to it. He was like, no biggie in that. And finally the kid said, how do you deal with paying 60%, of a tax rate for being a billionaire? And the guy just said to the kid, I don't want to be a billionaire in a poor country. Conrad says, there's power in the masses, Spartacus. We are Sparta. Just need more. Do you honestly think, Guy, that we would be in a mess right now with prices and that if Harris was president? I don't. Do I think she was the right choice? Not particularly. Was she a better choice than Trump? Oh, fuck yeah. 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 And in my lifetime, I have voted for both sides. I voted for who I thought was the best. Was it always right? No. But because I don't believe in your party, you're going to say I'm evil and I'm the destruction. I am one of the reasons why this country is falling apart. You can bite my balls. We choose not to vote for the lesser evil. Yes. So Donnie asks, he doesn't understand the tipping culture in the U.S. Like, is it mandatory? In most of Europe, most of the world doesn't tip. Maybe it's because most businesses have worked little weaselly ways. So most servers make a very minimum wage, right? If you work at a retail store, you make more than a server. And the idea is for you to be a great server. I guess it's the idea to push great service if you want more money. And there are people we tip, if my wife and I go out and we have really good service, we'll tip really well. Or even if the server is struggling and we can see that they don't have a lot of help, it's not that server's fault. But that's what goes on here in the States. And restaurants will say, well, we can't keep lower prices if we pay our servers decent money, and most of these servers don't have insurance. So that's why the tipping culture is so big here in the States, but now it's gotten so bad because of COVID that you do a carry out and there's you can do no tip. Yes, they prepared the food and all that, but they don't bring it to a table or anything like that. You're doing a carry out and you're going to tip for that? That's how bad the culture is here in the States. Not that some of these servers deserve it, but then there you get that server that is like your best friend and then gets to gets really close to you and kind of like kneels down and comes to eye level and, hey, what's your choice? Oh, that's a real good choice today. But it's not a forced culture. But it's looked at several years ago, actually many years ago. So it was 32 years ago. My wife and I went down to New Orleans with her sister and husband. Her husband, my sister-in-law's husband, his parents did time-sharing condos and that, and they would travel all over. And if they couldn't get anywhere, they would give their son their timeshare for that period. And we got to go to New Orleans. Fantastic time in that. And we went to this really nice restaurant, a buffet nonetheless, right? The only thing that the servers brought to us were drinks like coffee and all that. And it was so warm, the milk had curdled. I go pour the cream or whatever into my coffee and it's like, what? We left what we thought was a decent tip. The server followed us out the door, going to it like, what, look at what they gave us or gave me. They guilt trip customers because they know servers make, yeah, exactly. And it's not that there are some restaurants that are some really good prices. You always can eat pretty well. But even a lot of those restaurants are really going down with, the servers are getting fed up with it. New restaurants opening but they're closing at a massive rate. There was, believe it or not, an Australian-owned restaurant, Mexican restaurant, Australian-owned Mexican restaurant, Gomez. What was it? Guzman and Gomez. And my wife, there's one that opened up not far from us. And we kept talking about going to it. Well, now they've closed all their restaurants in the United States. They just pulled out. Yep, our economic system is based around GoFundMe and kindness of strangers. And why the hell should our government take care of us? I get tired of hearing how we can't or why we shouldn't. I mean, I hear from, oh, I never had that growing up, so why should you have it? I didn't have insurance given to me, or I didn't have an education given to me. Why should you have it? How about just changing, right? But oh no, our government's too big. We can't do that. Oh motherfucker! You keep hearing how America is great. I'm sorry if this chat is really gone and it doesn't make anybody happy, but it's things that it's on my mind consistently these days. I mean, I'm in a relatively decent spot with my retirement, but that can disappear in a heartbeat. No, there's no time. Sunday's just for everything, Donnie. So, but yeah, just things are just so screwed up, and maybe they're not always great in other countries. Grass is always greener on the other side. But this country could do whatever it decides. It puts its mind to it. Uh-oh.
All right, now we can talk. We can talk in private now. Elon Musk and his computers can't get to us here as long as you're in my matrix. So please come into my matrix and you'll be fine. Yes, I could speak freely here. Oh, it's just, oh my.
You know what? I'm gonna have to build a cone of silence kind of thing that comes down, a glass bowl. Oh no, Kevin knows. Way down below. And a friend, like, why? How can Norway and all Germany and all these countries and do it? And then, oh, what's their GDP and what's this and what's that? You know, it's like we're America, right? Go for it, Andy. Go for it. Stress the system out. Let's see what happens. Here, this is for me and Guy and Leo.
Do a barrel roll.
Oh. Too old to die young. Not yet. It's still going strong. Oh. No, but we privatize everything, right? And pay up the ass for insurance and everything else. Why should the government do it? Because they can. Everybody works really hard, and they work at places that have insurance. I thought I had, we have what we call Blue Cross Blue Shield here in the States, and they're pretty big and one of the best and largest networks in that. I have to sell people. I have people telling you would like barf if you saw my toes. Oh my God. But I heard a lot of celebrities are starting to go to OnlyFans. Trisha Helfer, from Battlestar Galactica. Supposedly she opened up an OnlyFans now. Alice Walshin goes to who's Alice? I don't know Alice. I know I don't begrudge any billionaire or who got somebody, but yeah, some of these nepo babies, nepo babies. Oh my, oh my. There you go. The drop game. Guys, maybe I don't do enough advertising. Let's see, Andy. Oh, just missed. Just missed, Andy. So rigged. Oh, Alice Walton. Yeah. No, but yeah, a lot of people that are in charge of stuff. We have too many billionaires in charge of stuff. Have some of them may have started out from lowly, clerks and all that kind of stuff. But many of them just do not know what it's like being down with us earthlings. The average uh, citizen, they have no idea. Yeah, and then, like the talk about trickle down theory. That's
Steve, someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
what's up, Penguin? All right. Now we can really start the bad stuff. Windows versus Linux. Watch the blood. All right, Donnie, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll catch you during the week. Welcome to the Socialist Workers Party connection. Oh, and you know what? We're not gonna save anything here. We're we're let us bitch. Well, we'll let the lonely citizens bitch. Windows sucks the life out of its users, and the Illuminati's plot to control the world. No, it's not. I'm on Windows right now, and I am not part of the Illuminati. What? I am part of the Illuminati?
Steve, someone has joined
Okay.
the chat on YouTube.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Andy's double timing here. Hello, I heard this is the anonymous meeting of the Socialist Worker Party. Is socialism really a bad thing? I guess in certain dosages and that, but look at. Oh no, you can't get an education unless you pay for it. Oh no, you can't get healthy unless you pay for it. Oh, Andy's on Arch, by the way. How is it a bad thing if we take care of our people? How is it? So I was talking about, like, I had Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance, right? And yes, the company does pay a good portion of that, but then you have this insurance that you have sometimes these outrageous deductibles. And I've had doctor friends from other countries say, Steve, what is this? Especially one particular doctor friend. What is this deductible you talk about? The insurance won't pay much until you're deductible. We're talking 8 to 10,000, unless you really pay the high price, and then you might have a $5,000 deductible. Right? Now, I am on Medicare. And I have never had such great insurance as I do now. You know what my deductible is for Medicare? $257.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Novinha descendo na 4x4. Welcome to the mar. Cerveja gelada, piscina e churrasco. Welcome to the mar. O modo batendo no bravo e pesado. Novinha descendo na 4x4. Welcome to the mar.
Oh yeah, dental is a whole nother story too. It's like it's one of the most important things for good health. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're just sitting here bitching about life in general. You know what? At least we're alive, right? I started some really bad topics today that's gotten people triggered. When I had my carpal tunnel done back in December, you know what it cost me? Absolutely nothing. You know how much the surgery was worth? Over $20,000. If I was at work, I'd still be paying that. Some people are paying because they have to pay $5 per prescription as a fee. Yeah, that's another thing. Who's ready for Trump RX? You can order Trump RX with your Trump phone. You might be smoking something there, Penguin. It works in every other major country in the world but here. Yeah, my wife. Oh my God, yes, I don't know. I don't know if I want to get further into political shit today. I'm already destroying the stream. It's just already. Hey, maybe we can find our own island or something, you know. See how long we last.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on Twitch.
Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us today.
Res1, how you doing, young man? Long time no see. I hope you are doing well. Where's the coder go? On one hand, he's Red1 Dev, and then he's a Res1 decoder. How you doing, Res? I think you look at it in a wrong perspective, Penguin, but that's your perspective. You think privatization's better? Do you think that? Oh, baby. Alive as always, doing good. Good one, Res, good. You think privatization is much better? Where you constantly get denied? But anyway, it will not be, Penguin. It will not be. You know, you and with your health, you know this to be true. The amount you pay for privatization, the amount you pay for regular insurance for all of these companies and that. No.
Steve, someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Welcome to my stream.
Hey, Slurm, that damn government. Yeah, damn government. They want to euthanize you. Come on, Penguin. Ah. But anyway. What's up, Slurm? Welcome to hell. We're tearing up the world here. All right, on Windows, StreamerBot dependency Microsoft View 2 requires 300 to 400 megabytes. I wonder, comparing to Linux, which is lighter? I don't know if I can learn can tell that. I mean, I'm running StreamerBot in bottles on my Linux setup. Today I'm on Windows, so and when I had done the wine install before, but the bottles install is, I think, is really a nice setup. But you do have to do two things in the bottle, and probably in WebView 2, or not WebView 2, in the wine version. Before you install StreamerBot, you need to change your environment to Windows 7, and then you need to install WebView 2 first. So I don't know how large the WebView 2 is, and then you can install StreamerBot on top of that, and then you'll have a functioning chat. You'd be dead waiting for a specialist in Europe. Are you fucked? Are you just that? Andy. Or Vince, if you're still there. Do you wait for specialists? You can walk into the doctor's office today and maybe pay $10. Call your doctor and try to get into, within the week. Now, they always have openings, but you have to be very specific. I call a doctor and it's like 2-3 weeks out. Oh, you could walk into an ER and get yelled at because you're not terminally ill. It's crazy, but anyway. There you go, sir. I stopped driving because I don't trust them government roads. I'm waiting on Amazon to build some new ones so I can finally leave the house. Yeah, because, privatization, right? Steve is yelling. I don't think he's being very social. Don't get me started. Yeah, if you're around on Tuesday, I'll be streaming on Linux on Tuesday. I can kind of show you the setup and that, but yeah, it works really well. Bottles is the flat pack. But and you do have to open up some permissions, but the install is really nice. Oh, bullshit. What you get off of Fox News, Penguin. Perez just went to the dock. He's good. Probably Newsmax. Man, talk about people that would be flat earthers. Newsmax people, or what's that other one? Oh, OWN. Oh my God. Oh, here we go. I'm really starting to. Yes. Fight, 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 fight. And speaking of fight, how about the Ultimate Fighter on the lawn of the White House? Oh, what a country. What a fucking country. How about that? This just in, the weather is really nice in Germany. News at 10. We got a big rainy day here today, which is great, but I bought all my gardening stuff, my plants and that. All right. Guess what? Guess who doesn't watch CNN? I watch WGN if I watch
Steve,
news.
Someone has joined the chat on YouTube.
Oh, dear Lord. I'm indeed invaded by Linux people. Oh. What's up, Nate? How are you? How about a slurm, right? If it's not coming from a government site, it ain't real. All right. Yeah, we started watching the Cannoli Network. The news is very creamy. It's hard to get any real facts. You have, there's certain places that are still kind of non-slanted, but news is entertainment these days, whatever. Well, do you use bottles in flat pack? Bummer, it needs to be sandbox, not on arch repo. Yeah, it's, the bottles is strictly a flat pack. Yes, it is sandbox, but it's very easy to open up like your home folder and all that to for StreamerBot to work. The things that you don't get in either the on the Linux version, so either in wine or bottles. And then there are people that if you go to the StreamerBot site, I know you're there a lot, Rez, and you go to the Linux forum. There's someone has been doing like a lot of Lutris installs and has made either Proton or Lutris to install StreamerBot. Bottles doesn't have to be. You can open up the permissions with Flat Seal. You just use Flat Seal, and then I open it up to my home folder, and you're good. And StreamerBot will read the files. But being on Linux and being in bottles, the things that you're not going to get SpeakerBot. I've barely heard anybody successfully getting SpeakerBot to work, because SpeakerBot uses Windows voice control in that and to do their TTS. Or if you're not going, out to AI land to get your voices. Then on StreamerBot, voice control is not there because that's also using the Windows system and that. So I created my own voice control using Vosk on Linux. So I don't miss it out there. But everything else works really well. Running bash scripts on StreamerBot in Linux is a little, for some reason, like the Windows version, and then you're trying to run a Linux bash script doesn't work. So I've had to come up with different workarounds. The bottles are red, white, blue, and yellow or something like that, I think, Carmine. So you get your pick, you know, so you got your reds, your Merlots, your Chardonnays. But I've been using the bottles version for about a year now. And I went with the wine version first when I was on Pop OS. The install's pretty easy, but I couldn't get if you don't change to Windows 7 version for the wine or bottle setup, and you don't do the WebView 2 install first, you don't get the chat window, and you don't get the C# window to work. I get both to work now because of what the install that I did. Nice Chianti would go down with some fava beans. Here we go. Let's do some dancing. If you're on Twitch, you're hearing the music. If you're on YouTube, let's start another battle: Twitch versus YouTube. For streaming, YouTube loses all the time. It doesn't matter if you're on a tiling Windows manager. What are you saying? That neither doesn't work, Andy, or what? Damn it, I saw someone post a cheese plate and I had to get some cheese. Now you mentioned wine and I gotta have some. So Vince was eating. What were you eating with your banana crackers? He had banana crackers. Yeah, if you're a streamer, you're on YouTube alone, you're losing out on so much. What sucks about Twitch is they're part of Amazon, but YouTube's part of Google. Oh, you're not done. You always get yourself into trouble, Penguin. Always. You can't help yourself. You can just have the browser pop out really neatly aligned. Oh, like if for the chat, yeah, I did in the beginning. I had to, because StreamerBot does have a chat that you know is a web, because basically the chat is a website. No one's safe here. No one is safe here. But anyway, what was I talking about? But anyway, yeah, so because I'm running Endeavor OS, the GNOME edition, for my Linux setup. I'm using the Titan 642 AUR package for OBS. No, it doesn't, Nate, but you know, for you lame streamers. But anyway, So Twitch is here we go. Now I'm triggered. So Twitch is designed for engagement with streamers, with streaming, and all the things that you can do. YouTube, there is no engagement outside of the chat. But anyway. So Rez, I'm on Endeavor OS, Gnome Edition. I have the Titan 642 build from the AUR. Majority of, at least in the AUR, I find all my plugins. The flat pack OBS is absolutely, I'm sorry OBS people, but the flat pack is for, I'll trigger it now. Lame Linux users. You get half the functionality of what you can get out of the PPA for Ubuntu-based systems. It's decent, but there's things that you cannot do with the Flatpak. Wait, and are you telling him not to listen to me, Andy? What? Or are you what? Do you know, Penguin, that they do not relegate? Whereas a couple years ago, if you went onto YouTube, you would see all that. They've actually done a pretty good job. That I don't see them. I have to look for them. And some of them are not hard to miss. But that is, it is not what you think. It isn't. There are a lot of, but there's a lot of good streamers and that on Twitch. Andy has to descale his coffee machine so it's ready for tomorrow morning. Do I have coffee up here?
I'm making coffee. Anybody want coffee? I'm making coffee. I'm having a cup of coffee. Does anybody want coffee? Because I'm having a cup of coffee.
Do I look for that kind of content? No, it just finds me. But if I want to find, are you saying none of that's on YouTube? Because every Saturday night I see a bunch of big boobs on YouTube. I'm just saying. It's this bar scene, Andy. It's a Lennox Saloon. Sorry, Nate. Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to think of it that way, I'm just. But no, everybody streams when they stream. I don't. I like TikTok is a nightmare. Oh my God, some of the stuff on TikTok. You want to? Oh, I think I've never streamed on Trovo, but I guess they're going away. You're well aware that Sophie Rain and Amaranth, yes, they multi-stream something, so you'll find their stuff. But to think that Twitch is just boobs is so totally wrong. I mean, oh, Steve, can you ramble about the kids on Discord saying, bro? Oh my God, Andy. Bro, I need help. Bro. Are you kidding me, bro? Oh, bro, I checked with AI and it says you're lying, bro. I had Finite Singularity reach out to me on a Linux user that couldn't get his one plugin, the retro plugin, to work. But it turns out he's on the Flatpak and he couldn't get it installed because it's not in the Flatpak install. Now, there are certain plugins that on Linux that if you install it right on a Flatpak, you'll get it to work. Like I've mentioned that I use 30 plus plugins on Linux. 15 of those 30 are built as a Flatpak plugin, so they get installed right. I did a test, and yes, I use AI to help me, but I built a script that then took all my plugins from that I had installed from the AUR and put it in the Flatpak. It actually added 10 more plugins to work, but for the major plugins, like for Tuna, for the music player and that, you will not get that to work on Flatpak. There are certain things that work. So I tried to help this, and then didn't even respond, you know. And he went on a tirade in the Linux forum on Discord about Flatpaks, and then he went on a tirade about dock windows not working in Wayland and all that. The only thing he didn't do is bro. Squirrel? Can you say squirrel? Oh, that's what I should do. I should have a squirrel run across the street. Oh, let's distract Steve. Just throw me a bone. Now, I have also installed Zorin 18. It's not a bad build, but it's still, you know, it's still based on 2404. So what's cool is you can install the Ubuntu PPA on it, so you get all the plugins that the developers make for Linux to work. They're still using X11, which they can't last much longer just using X11. So all your custom browser docs will work. I started rebuilding because I thought I was having drivers issues on Endeavor. Maybe the drivers were too far advanced, but I really haven't done much with it. But it's been working pretty well for on Endeavor OS for me. But many people do not understand what it takes coming from Windows to Linux on streaming. You know, it took me a couple of years to get going on Twitch, but Twitch does have a real good community. You find, you know, like Andy here and Donnie and Nova, you know, and many more are on Twitch. And Andy, am I right? The engagement, the things that you could do with Twitch, especially with StreamerBot, you could do some of the stuff on YouTube, but the API is so you know, it's not open, totally open. But yeah, if you want a Windows-like experience, using the PPA on an Ubuntu system is the way to go. Again, just depending on which system, using Wayland or not. And it's not so much, I guess it's how OBS uses Ceph, the Chrome Embedded Framework in OBS. There's really no other option for them. There's nothing like from Firefox and that. I don't know the intricate builds of OBS for sure, but like this person was like, well, you would think like OBS would be able to do something without, in the last 5 years. But the Ceph part comes from them, the Chromium Embedded Framework people. And someone will pick up the work, and then they lose it. It's a big build, I guess, for the Chromium Embedded Framework people to get Wayland stuff into it. So on Windows, it's going to depend. If you're stuck on custom docs in Linux, or in OBS, coming to Linux might not be for you. Wayland is still kind of a pain to screen capture. I have no issues on my Endeavor OS. I screen capture. I do screen captures on all my desktops, and I do window capture on like my GeoGuessr game, which is just basically the browser. And people don't like it, like if why can't it just connect right away? Well, if it doesn't see the window open, it's not going to connect right away. Or are you saying outside of GNOME? Yeah, okay, so it's working well, but like Wayland and KDE in that, you're saying that is a bit different? And then I see, and I'm not a gamer, so like for me hooking up my games, I was able to do my Wii U with a capture card, USB HDMI to USB capture card. Do you know how many people in the forum think that plugging maybe their game into their with an HDMI cable out from their, maybe say their game or their laptop? Oh, I plugged it into the computer. They're plugging it into the out of the capture, or not the capture card, the GPU, and can't figure out why. Oh, well, it's HDMI to HDMI. It should work. See, there's too much stuff. There's Sway and WL Rots. I know what Sway kind of is. It's but WL Rots, what the hell is that? See, there's too much out there, and people will oh, well, someone tells me go to Cashy, someone tells me to go to Bazite, someone tells me to go here because they're great gaming stuff. But you use what you want on Linux. That's fine. But so many people just don't. My buddy told me to be on this. My friend told me to be on this. Oh, I don't know OBS and I don't know Linux. Help me. WL Roots is the libraries that compositors use. Sway, Neri, Hyperlin all use WL Roots. Okay. I lose my Linux card. That's stuff that unless it's a major desktop and that, I'm not going to use it. Oh, brother. Did I cause enough problems today? And not that Andy wasn't instigating. You know, he's got to go descale his coffee pot. You should, because of compatible with i3. Yeah, use what you want. I mean, there are just some things are not going to work well, say, with OBS and streaming. You've been on Linux for a long time, you know, so you figure out workarounds. New people shouldn't be on a lot of stuff like that. It's just they should just be on an Ubuntu base. You know, I know Linux Mint works. I've never been a super Linux Mint fan. I don't like Cinnamon. I don't like, you know, they've upgraded their icons and all that. But they got great, you know, pretty good team behind it in that. And for stability and just beginning on Linux, I think it's a great start. You know, like Zoran has put together, I call Zoran the Papa West, the new Papa West or the old Papa West. Because it's known with have you seen the extensions that they have installed on Zoran that they just renamed them? And yes, they'll keep up with them. I know Carmine is a big Zoran fan. But they have a ton of extensions to make it look the way it does. Now I use GNOME, so I'm okay with that. I changed a bunch of stuff. But they use their store to install deb packages, and I don't know how they really do that. I know other distributions do that too, but it loses out. It will not grab certain dependencies. So like with installing OBS plugins that are built in a deb, there are several plugins that it wouldn't install would say missing dependencies. I'm like, what the? So I installed GDebi. And guess what? Those plugins installed. Now, whether Zoran's doing it for security reasons or whatever, I think it's, if you're a new user to Zoran and you're doing OBS and doing plugin installs, just so I don't use their store. I have GDebi installed, and then I installed Bazaar. That's the problem with. Oh, yeah, I know you always instigate in that, but the problem with Wayland, there is no standardized display server. XOR didn't care what you were on. OBS worked the same way no matter what you were using. I mean, the whole thing about Wayland is it's being more secure and that more modern. Guess what? On Windows, yeah, you got some shit you got to deal with. But everything for my streaming just works. I don't have to have a workaround. If I wanted to use StreamerBot fully, I get to use StreamerBot fully. Yes, StreamerBot is made for Windows. With some Windows stuff in mind. The developer is working on maybe making it for a native app for Linux and Mac. That would be great, but there's a lot of changing he needs to do. But that was with his last update was a step in that direction. But there are differences. There are differences that one has to really kind of research between Windows and Linux, and a lot of people don't want to do that. You know, it's the old, I'm tired of Windows. I have this older laptop. and then trying to get things to work the same way, you know. God, when I look back, so tomorrow marks the 8th anniversary of my first video post on YouTube about Peppermint OS and how I customized the desktop to look like Chrome OS. So that's my 8th anniversary. So I have in October my 8th anniversary of my first stream coming up, and my 4th anniversary of my first Twitch stream coming up. But I look back at those 8 years and using OBS for the first time and the stuff that I know I didn't know. But I kept working on it. It takes a lot of work to port something to Linux, especially something like StreamerBot. Yeah, because he uses a lot of like WebView 2. And like I said, the voice control is from Windows. SpeakerBot, the TTS system, majority of it's from Windows. I mean, he can. I don't know how easily one can do it, but he can possibly rip out the voice control and add Vosk. You know, create an internal voice control for Linux. Or just for StreamerBot alone, because Vosk is cross-platform. It works on Windows, Linux, and Mac. But StreamerBot is a great program for, you know, to help with streaming. All the stuff that you see that happens on my stream is because of StreamerBot. And then it will work on like, so like someone had taken the, you know, wine build and made a bottles build out of it. So it is in a list of bottles installs. He might have to. Well, he doesn't use. You know, he used the voice control. So like here, I'm on Windows. If I do computer left monitor, that's using Windows voice control. On my Linux system, if I do computer main view, it's Vosk. I'm using Vosk for my voice control. I don't know how he built it. It's not open source in that. It is, you know, it's kind of closed. He's built it. Nate 1280 is his name.
Here's the left monitor, Steven. Here is the main view, Steven.
And using SpeakerBot, it's always, even though I'm using the Windows, it's always late. So I'm using also on Linux, instead of SpeakerBot, I'm using this program called Speakaboo that this young developer has made as a drop-in replacement for SpeakerBot that does my TTS, and it's pretty much immediate. Very lightweight, and that's cross-platform, so I might replace SpeakerBot on Windows with Speakaboo. I know Bottles is wine, but it is an easier build. I mean, I had no problems. If I can install the wine version, anybody can. The instructions on StreamerBot are very straightforward. But the Bottles is just a nice setup. And the only thing that you have to change is use FlatSeal to open up some permissions. So Linux and SpeakerBot can share files together. And I have pretty much, the only difference is I actually have more voices on my Linux setup because I'm using Piper TTS, which is part of Speakaboo. And you can use voices that are built for and saved in an ONX file, the ONNX file. I can't, and I've tried Google and I've tried Azure and I've tried Monster TTS all on SpeakerBot. But the delay sometimes from going to the cloud to get these voices and back are just a delay. Where on Linux or on SpeakerBoo, and I'm never saying that everybody needs a stream like this and that. This is just ways that this is my enjoyment now. This is my customization. I'm so done with the Linux stuff of different desktops and what changes and all that. If it helps me to stream, I'm going to use it, but I don't care about that stuff. This is what I create now. And can I do some of this without StreamerBot? Yes, you can use, let's see, like Finite Singularity uses the advanced scene switcher for a lot of his controls, for a lot of his stuff. And basically, using function keys to trigger them. But then you go on to Linux, and especially you're on Wayland, you can, there's a Wayland plugin that you can install for OBS that will help you to use your F keys, but they don't always work, especially if you're on another program. Your mouse is on another program. The F keys don't always work. There's just decisions, and I had given up streaming on Linux for a couple years because of the workarounds. I'm just so tired of it. That's why when I went back, I really worked hard at it, and I got close to what I have on Windows. Sounds, voice changes, and all that. Certainly much easier using VSTs to do that compared to where I have to do it with easy effects on Linux. Because with Wayland, you can't open up those docs. Yeah, global hotkeys are broken, but there's a plugin, a Wayland hotkeys thing that you can add to Linux to help with Wayland keys, F keys. But I've never used function keys, so I don't. Sometimes they can be easier, but with things like Touch Portal and that, and the StreamerBot deck, where I just, yeah, it could be a headache and that, but these work really well.
Emotional damage.
So I don't need F keys in that. And it's great. Touch Portal works on Linux with the app image. I use something called OBS Blade. I've not heard of that one. I know there's I have switched over to Touch Portal because it's so much more customizable, and I did the paid version. I was using it's called Stream Control, which is nice, but it's not customizable. Or at least the last time I looked, I switched over to Touch Portal. And with Touch Portal, you can set up different pages depending on your streaming format. But my Touch Portal, when I sign into Windows, looks different than when I sign into Linux. And it's just like having a Stream Deck. We talked the other day about all the stuff that I used to use to stream with. The desktop and 3 laptops. I've tried it all. Well, I can't say I tried it all. What made it easy with the using the desktop and 3 laptops was using the laptop battle station exactly. Yeah, so Touch Portal, it's $14.99. I actually had a $2 thing off from my Play Store. So I got the and it's lifetime. It's $14.99 lifetime. I got it for $13.99 or $12.99, and it unlocks a lot of stuff, and you can really download different kind of like setups, and you can use it with 100. You can use it with GIMP and YouTube Music and Spotify and Twitch and just YouTube and Photoshop and Voice Meter and all these other things. But it's for Linux, it's only in an app image. But it works fine. And then I use Social Stream Ninja in the app image. But the only thing I use Social Stream Ninja for now is when you see the icons floating up. I don't use it for the chat or anything. The chat comes off of StreamerBot using Streamer's Nutty. His name is Nutty. He made the side chat. But there is a lot of difference between Windows and Linux, especially streaming. And like I said, when they start throwing in like the game stuff, like or they want to record, in 8K. I don't know why. But it turns out they don't have a system that can help them record in 8K. Well, I just want better quality. Well, 8K doesn't mean better quality. And even on Windows, the people that don't know what they have from desktop to laptops. Question will be, what kind of GPU do you have? Bruh, what's a GPU? CPU? No, GPU? Bruh, what's that? I don't mean to put anybody down, but it's like no one, everybody wants to, hey, put me on a voice call. I just need someone to get me to set this up. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, here's the guy. No, I don't want to use a guy. I want you to tell me what to do. Let me see. I'm looking for my my past laptop station. I'll tell you what to do. You might not like what I tell you what to do. Well, you know, and then well, dude, I've been working with AI and they just say that you're wrong. And they're telling people that have been working in the forum and have been part of the OBS team for years that they're wrong. I mean, they might not always be right. I see some stuff, you know, but they got to deal with, oh my God, so much. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. Computer, right monitor.
Here's the right monitor, Steven.
That was right before I built my new desk. And also right before I built my monitor. So now I have 3 monitors. I have a 17-inch monitor that I use for the chat. AI is wrong about having. Yeah, I do catch. I was giving Gemini. I was questioning Gemini a lot. Oh, good catch, good catch. So running OBS on the desktop. That's Touch Portal there, and then StreamerBot. Oh no, that was YouTube in the background. So this laptop had Windows 10 on it, and I was running StreamerBot off of this because it was actually working better at the time than the Wine version. And with a WebSocket, you can have it on a different computer and it will work fine. This laptop, I had another version of OBS on here, and I would connect the two with Teleport. And this is actually what I would use. I think this is the one I use for my gaming stuff. So the actually, this one had Linux Mint on it, and it worked pretty good. This old laptop worked pretty good with my capture card. So I would send it to my main OBS with Teleport, which is like not a version of NDI, but it works in the same principle. And then I wanted music on a different one, so this also had OBS on it, but I had my YouTube player on here, so I can send music to my stream. Why? And then I have my tablet. So this is the Touch Portal. This is my old S2 or G2 tablet. Now I have a nice Lenovo tablet that I use for Touch Portal. So basically, I use 2 tablets now. So the only laptop that I use is this one here to monitor the stream. So I have Twitch on one side and YouTube on the other, so I can see if the stream kind of fails. And that's all this is for. But there we go. But this is my old setup. And this is right before I built my desk. Show desk. Is that not working? Good button. This is my new setup. I built that desk. That's my son's laptop that sits there when I'm not using it. Of course, I don't have my tablets up there and that, but and I used to have so I can see much cleaner. Much cleaner. Not bad with I've been meaning to put like a cover So I had my laptop on this shelf, but it was getting hard for me to look up there, so I moved it to the side here. And then my printer and but that's my new setup compared to this. And look, I had to use another table for an extension. Oh my God, this was tight. This was tight. And then my microphone and all that. But look at all the wires and that compared to what it is now. Things are a lot cleaner now. So that's the laptop, you know, the old setup. So if you have a couple, you know, if you are having issues with your OBS and all that, you can use a couple of laptops to combine things together. The old setup looks like your current setup. I'm so glad I built this desk. It's just so nice. And on Twitch, you might be seeing some ads. My microphone, this Fi-Fi microphone I've had for, let's see. I did a Carmine thing. I used to have a headset with the microphone on it. I think this week I'll play a couple of my first videos. Audio. I knew nothing about audio. I was more concerned about lighting. It didn't sound bad, but it didn't sound great. You can tell it was on a headset mic. But Fi-Fine, this was what was it? Just about a $50 mic, USB. Fi-Fine's got some good stuff, and it has been rock steady for me. Got both Windows and Linux. Takes a bit to fine-tune the sound, but OBS has some good built-in audio plugins that work fine for streaming and that. You're using a powerful enough laptop where OBS and streaming the games I want to stream is no problem. Yeah. But a lot of people don't. I mean, you know, like, what is the most, you know, like the Linux crew, right? Most of the Linux people. I saved my old laptop, but then I want to stream off of it too, and game. You know, like this one here, this 8440. No, it's 8460 HP. It'll run OBS. But throw in a plugin or two in it. I mean, on my desktop right now in this scene, I mean, I think I fine-tuned some stuff where my CPU usage is like down under 10%. Even one or two plugins on the laptop, that's going to be like 80% because it doesn't have a dedicated graphics card. It's got an internal graphics card. So most it's going to be software X246 that you're going to be using on these laptops. And then you want to record and game off of it too. Ain't going to happen. Unless you want to stream at 480. Many things to consider. Many things to consider. Using a XY USB mic, it cost you $30 5 years ago. Still using it to that mic today, it still sounds great for the money, especially with the filters. Yeah. Yeah. You don't need an XLR mic. You don't need to have all the equipment of a big streamer. Because you can't afford that stuff. And there's no reason to go out and buy that stuff if you're not making money off of your streaming. No reason whatsoever. I think my lighting is just right. I do have a darker room, you know. And because it's a bit cloudy, I have my shutters open a bit. Otherwise, the sun comes right through this way. You don't have a dedicated graphics, however, is AMD APU that has a GPU encoding and can record and stream at 1080p. Okay. Yeah, like my son, that laptop you've seen in the video, that's his. He's got an Omen, is it an Omen 15? HP Omen. It's got a 3050 in there. It's got 64 gigs of memory. Got a 1 terabyte drive. We spent $1,200 for that for him. And it runs Maya and all, you know, like a lot of graphics programs because he was going to school for it. He could do so much on that. That's like a desktop. It's got the Bang Olufsen or Olufsen sound system in it. Sounds great. He could do a lot off of that. But these older ones, it's great that Linux saves this stuff. But know what you have. Even on Windows. Oh my God, someone was still streaming on Windows 8.1 and they were using OBS 27. Yeah, I would rather have a desktop to do this. In fact, I barely use my laptops anymore because I had this nice Lenovo tablet. So for me, my desktop is just for streaming. I do a lot of surfing and that on it. But if I'm I got this tablet that I don't need a laptop for. I had to talk my wife into getting one, but she would rather have a laptop. But yeah, you wanna. I mean, and I don't mean to make fun of those in the forum and that they're calling for help, but some of them are so pushy. Like I'm streaming in 30 minutes and I can't get this to work. I need help right now, and they forget that these people, or they don't know, or OBS. It's free. It's open source, right? It's free. You're not paying for help. These are volunteers. Treat them nicely, but no, some of these people are just... And they'll ask for a log if something's wrong. And the tinfoil hat people, oh no, I can't send you the log. Or they'll try to edit the log and wipe out information that they need. And there's no username, no nothing like that, no passwords or anything in the OBS logs. It's what you do have as a system. CPU, GPU, memory, peripherals, and then all the plugins you have installed. And I don't want to give out that information. Well, we need it to help you. Well, can't you just get on a call? It's like... Old laptops are great for watching YouTube, checking email, social media, writing documents, but for gaming and streaming, they're built to the right. I mean, you could do some of the like old retro games on them and that through, you know, like Linux and Tux Kart Racing and all that. That's fine. That's great. I use one down in a family room for a slideshow. I upload pictures to it, and it's constantly showing, you know, a slideshow. I wish I had a bigger monitor, but you know, my wife one year was like, "You take all these pictures, and I don't get to see them." I can give you a link to my Google Photos. Oh, excuse me. So I downloaded a bunch of photos. And I installed Variety Wallpaper Changer on the laptop. Next day, my wife goes, "I love you and I hate you." I what? She goes, "I love that you put these pictures on for me to see. I hate you because I stayed up all night because I haven't seen most of these." I throw on new pictures from time to time. And it's what's that one? Is that the 8440? Or yeah, that's the 84. Or is that the 6550 HP? It's one of the other one. It doesn't have a webcam on it. Some of the laptops that my brother gave me came from a hospital. So I actually a laptop without a webcam had to be a special order, but it also doesn't have the right GPU on it. And I'm only running 4 gigs of memory in that one. I didn't update that one. Since I've gotten several old laptops, my portable laptop is 12 years old, but I only write, watch YouTube, take it to coffee shops. Linux saved the hardware, but never expected to run OBS. Well, you know, there are a lot of people coming over from Windows that think Linux is the miracle, you know, trying to run OBS and Doom. And they're on an old laptop that ran Windows 7. I was able to stream and run Doom on it, no problem back in the day. But most people don't do their research. I blame them, don't blame them. Know what you have. I don't expect everybody to be a tech. I know quite a bit. I've been working with computers for many years now, but there's certain things like Adam and Vince, they just have this knowledge of computers. That, you know, if it's suiting a purpose, I'll know it, but I don't always learn everything if I don't need to. It's just, you know, and then if I have to learn it, you know, I've learned a lot about OBS. I mean, I really have. But even still, you know, I'm learning more and more. I'm getting closer every day. But this is my customization. This is my thing. You know, when I'm on Windows, I don't normally, outside of streaming, I really don't do much on Windows. Linux is still, for majority of my stuff, is my main platform, but I enjoy streaming on Windows much more than I do on Linux. There's also a big difference. There is being on Windows 11 here with this system, the way I have it set up, it runs leaner on Windows than it does on Linux. If I'm on Linux, so right now my CPU is at 8.5%. It's at least 10 or 12, which is not a lot, but it's more. You don't blame them. The community sometimes oversells Linux and what it can do. Unknowledgeable people think it's a magic bullet and don't understand the hardware is a limitation. Yeah. And even on Windows, it just, everybody wants to be a streamer. I do this for myself. And then I get to do this and have these conversations with you people is pretty cool. And that we were looking in the chat, we were looking at someone from Norway, someone from Germany, someone from England, someone from Australia, and then Boston, and I forget where you're from, Penguin. You're out kind of northeast, right? Or east, if I remember right. Carmine's in Ohio, Eastern Ohio, right? And connect the world. And to me, that's cool. You're in Kansas. Well, hello, Dorothy. Oh, you Dorothy. Oh, if you are on Twitch right now, this is a great tune. Bruce Springsteen with Tom Morello. Guitar. Great version of The Ghost of Tom Joad. There's another thing you can't do on YouTube. You can't play this music on YouTube, so that's why you don't hear it. Now, if you would watch my VOD on Twitch later on, you won't hear the music either. You're only an 8-hour drive if you really push it. I had gotten a message on Discord from the most of the Twitch people will know him, but Mustached Maniac, who has done a lot of stuff for StreamerBot too. I think he might be moving, but he was doing a road trip. He's about 30, 40 minutes away from me. I would have known it, I would have just met up with him. That was nice. Always nice when people reach out and see how you're doing. But do I create a lot of fantastics? No, there are some streamers that really do unbelievable stuff. If you're on Twitch, one needs to check out the Sushi Dragon. This dude is unfucking believable with what he does he's got portable stuff, face chain, it's all, and he has robots that he goes walking with. Just unbelievable. He's got his own warehouse set up with studio. It's just unbelievable. And then streamers like Nova Charter, he's got a nice setup. If you really want to see some fancy stuff, some of these DJs out there's some, just like most streamers, DJing is a big thing on Twitch, which you can't do on YouTube. You can never watch their stream again, although they do record them and replay them as replays. You can do replays on Twitch. One of the guys I follow, DJ 506. He's got some cool stuff. Then on YouTube, if you watch Boom So Much. Now, some of the, he plays, what's that game? Rockstar or Rock Guitar or whatever. His setup. Oh my God. His scenes are unbelievable. Boom So Much is the one I got the cross chat from, where Twitch can talk to YouTube and vice versa. But majority of the stuff you see here outside of some of the videos are my creations or how I put them together. I made my own lower third, and that's with HTML. This is my music player. I made that with HTML, CSS. I built my own walk-ons, which is pretty basic in a way, but it's pretty elaborate too when people walk in. But I've used other people, like I gotta fix, I think Blue Sky's not posting tap it on Discord. When I go live on Windows, you'll see it. If you see it in my Discord, I'm live. And then it deletes it to this done when it's done, when I'm done streaming. And that's the one from Mustache Maniac. And that happens on Windows. If you see it left over, but it said the stream ended, that's one I use for Linux. Because the Mustache Maniacs doesn't work real well on Linux, because it uses a notification from Windows. Even though I'm using StreamerBot in Bottles Wine, it's not working right. I think sometime this week I might do a tribute to the people that have helped me or I've learned from. But if you're out there and just know I am not so vehemently against AI, but know that you have to question it. It's just learning. It's not AI. It's just looking out there, especially if you're on the free version. It's just looking for posts and that. It's just stealing from other people's YouTube videos or posts or all that. That's not always correct. Know that. It's not 100%. It's helpful. It helped me build this. Helped me build this. Yeah, it's just have fun. Don't take it all so seriously. If you're I was worried I might not been. I probably would have switched over to Linux, but I wanted to stream on Windows this morning because I want to see if my rolling credits at the end is working. That's what I got to check out when we go here. But be willing to learn. And if you go to any forum, but if you go to the Discord forum for OBS, remember that they are volunteers and they are not there to hold your hand. They're there to help you. AI normally helps me solve errors in Linux, especially build errors. I usually can tell why what package is missing. It's great for that. Yeah, I constantly like my voice control over on Linux. I had to remind it several times that I was on Arch and it was giving me Ubuntu installs. Oh yes, good catch. And they're designed so if you catch it on something or it's like, you've done a very good job. You are awesome at this. And you go, oh my God, AI loves me. It's helpful. Oh, it's telling me I'm fantastic. I'm like, yeah, great. I caught your shit, you know? If you do the paid version, the upper versions of, say, Gemini or Claude or anything, you're gonna get a. I'm never gonna do the paid version. For me, it's not worth it. Then if you're using it for streaming and that. Yeah, you know, it sometimes does. Yeah, it's like the install. I remember. You gotta bust its chops once in a while. But that's the free version. You know, the paid version is gonna be a bit different. You're on the upper levels, but then paying like some of $20 a month. I don't make money off of this, so you know, I make very little. That I'm going to pay for something extra like that. No. I've worked with HTML, CSS, very little JavaScript, but I know how to dissect them really well. I can look at it and know where I need to change something. So I've changed this a number of times and, you know, but I'm telling you, I use it. And there are some streamers out there that are making stuff for StreamerBot that won't tell you that. Because all of a sudden there are more things coming out. I've been thinking about there's someone from the StreamerBot forum. It's not for Linux, but I'm sure I can get one on Linux. But there is a voice one, you know, that I can turn into TTS and that can train other people's voices. That the download I think is about 4 gigs, but it's all local then. Because my 4060 should be able to handle that. I mean, not streaming at the same time, but you know, it's not the super high end. But that's why I got a 4060 mainly so I can use. I can afford it, and I can use it to do background removal, like this. Look at NVIDIA; it's just so clean. I mean, you can see a little bit of the share, but it's so clean. I guess I must have knocked my camera. I'm just off a little bit on my background. There's a great background remover. It's called the OBS background remover or removal plugin. There's 2 of them out there. There's background removal and there's background removal light. If you want to try it, try the light. Especially if you have a decent card in your system. I got that one going. It's not as clear as this, but it's much, and it barely uses resources. The background remover by so one is by Ray Skillett. That one uses a lot. My CPU will jump to 30% because for some reason on Linux, I can't get it to see the GPU. The light version is built totally different. It's from some other developer. Works really nice. Even the chat box and LMs are pretty decent. Yeah, a lot of people like in their streams use a snarky bot that it'll pick up comments from you and it'll go, oh Penguin, you know, you can do it with a llama. Oh great, you know, when it gets really snarky. But that's pretty cool. But I think with that, after we destroyed the chat and the world, and had our heart to hearts. We've battled MAGA, we've battled Christianity, we've battled Lennox. What else? You use the BG removal? Yeah, I don't know. It just used more CPUs. The light is built differently, and it needs a bit of tweaking to get it relatively clear, but I found it to work much better. I actually had to do a build it myself, not build it myself, but I had to follow the directions to build it because there's nothing in the AUR for it. It has problems with NVIDIA. That could be the issue, whereas the background removal light doesn't have that issue. And it works pretty well. But anyway, so we are gonna see. I'm gonna call it a day here. Been on 2.5 hours. My wife's gonna be like, but I smell bacon, and I'm gonna give her. Probably got breakfast ready. I am hungry, and I need some more coffee. So let me pause the music here, and we are going to go and see if. Computer, let's say goodbye. Computer, time to say goodbye. Okay. Oh, there we go. So let's see. So far, so good. This is my new scroll. It's not mine, but Rondi over at YouTube or StreamerBot took Lifesavers and fixed it. So Andy resubscribed. Thank you, Andy. Andy is a subscriber. Viewers. It doesn't pull my YouTube ones in yet. I can't get that to work. So thank you, Hans, Andy, Nova, Donnie, White Gug, Rez. On the YouTube side, Penguin, Carmine, Nate. Who else? If I missed you, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this to work right. I will be on Tuesday for Tux Tuesday. We'll see how it works there. Take care. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.